Diva Mama Tanya here to share with you the energy of being a natural born healer. Why am I going here? Because I am moved. Ah, yes. You know, there are so many natural born healers out here, it's not even funny. They have no certification in any healing modality whatsoever. But they understand the energy of healing. And I'll never forget the first healing energy that I was guided to give. And it was a head-to-head, okay? I was walking across 125th Street with the vendors and everything was nice. I used to love that African marketplace out there. It was grooving. And I heard this boy say, that woman needs some help. So I walk over to her and I asked her, does she feel okay? And she said, oh, I have a migraine. I said, really? You know, I'd never had a migraine. Thank goddess. You know. But I was led to do a head-to-head contact with her, eye to eye. So I did. And instead of me pushing energy into her, I pulled her energy out. And I went home and I had a migraine headache for 24 hours. I never experienced that since then. And I learned something. I learned not to pull it out during an eye-to-eye contact, but to push it in. Okay? Push in the energy, push in the love, push in the healing. And that came to me many, many years later when I was at a conference for youth and elders. And I met some elders from, where were they from? New Zealand, actually. And they did this head-to-head contact, and it was eye-to-eye, and I said, oh, so I was right in what I was doing. I was just not doing it exactly correctly. But I knew the healing energy was there. Then at another time, again, I'm in the African marketplace, and there was a brother who had a cast on his arm. You know, so I went over, I was guided, yet again, and jokingly, lovingly, I, just kind of like did the outside. And at the time, I want you to know, I had a cigarette in my hand that I was smoking, tobacco. All right, tobacco smoke. All right, it cleanses the air. But nonetheless, that's coming from a Native American tradition dealing with sacred tobacco. All right, so Spirit had me have this tobacco in my hand at the time that I walked over to this brother. So I just kind of ran my hands over without talking to him all the while. How did you do that, brother? What did you do? Who did you hit? And I saw him a couple of weeks later, and he came running up to me. And he said, do you remember me? And he twisted his arm like this. Do you remember me? And I vaguely remembered him. I said, I think so, because when Spirit moves, you don't always remember. Okay, it's not your point, your place always to remember. So he said, I'm the man that had the cast on his arm, and I was supposed to get a soft cast, but the doctor said I was healed. And I said, well, give thanks. Give thanks. That's a great thing. I had never been trained in any healing modality. So that's why I'm talking about natural born healer, because y'all are out there, and sometimes you're made to feel badly because of the fact that you don't have a piece of paper that has certified you as a healer. Okay? Then there was another time, a Spanish woman, her child, asthmatic, I'm shaking my shells, doing my, Icasa, okay? And she said, could you please, in Spanish, and she's talking to me, my son, he has asthma, and, and I was like, okay. So, just playing some music. And then I saw her, or rather, she saw me on Riverside Drive, and she comes running up to me, and speaking in what we call Spanglish, Spanish-English mix. And she said, my son, you healed him, you healed him. And she was all excited and everything. And I started backing away because there were so many people around. And I was like, oh, no, y'all are not going to stone me out here. No, we're not going there. And so other people started coming up to me, but I started, again, I just shook my shells and I said, give thanks, just give thanks. Because I know it wasn't me per se, it was an energy of love that I was dealing with. It was a spirit, love, that came through me. It was love, because love is the ultimate healer. I don't care what modality you know. But let me go here. Because there's some very arrogant, extremely arrogant, certified healers out there that make you think if you don't have a piece of paper to certify you in a modality, that you have no right to be a natural born healer. So, sharing those stories one day with someone who was a Reiki master, she had said, well, you couldn't possibly be a healer because you're not a Reiki master. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, there are certain things that happen based on the love that I gave. And you're telling me that because I don't have a piece of paper that certifies me in a particular modality that I'm not who I am. Very interesting. So I was totally against Reiki for many years. Trust me. Okay. And then later on I went ahead and I got my piece of paper in Reiki, and then I started doing Reiki differently from the way other Reiki masters were doing it, because I was doing it the way I was led. And it was not necessarily about the hand placements. I wasn't feeling that. I was feeling different. I was feeling maybe a sweep or a hum or a chant or the shells or something else, the rain stick. I was feeling other things to do. And again, it's not the modality that makes you, in quote, a healer. Love, the love that you have inside of you, that is the healing force. So if you have a certification in a modality, and all you're doing is the modality with no feeling, no emotion, no love, then to me, in my eyes, you're not going to be as effective as someone who gives a loving embrace and a song or a hum. You know how those old black women used to hum? Okay, they'd hold you close in bosom. Okay, and rock you and hum. Yeah, and that hum would just run all through you. And pretty soon, you'd feel really good. You'd feel lifted. You felt healed. You felt whole. So, for all of you who are natural born healers, and for those of you who have certification in a modality, let's get together. One is not better than the other because you are not the healer. Love is the healing force. It's not about you. Okay? It's the great I am that is inside of you. That is the healing force. The love, L-O-V-E. So you can hum love. Love. So, natural born healers, do your thing. Love. Learn, but love. Learn, but love. Yeah.